enforcement group. And some of the things that we're doing now, so we come from a rural area. Nelson's got 10, 11,000 people, and the other group is from Grand Forks, and there's what, like 6 to 7,000 people there? Sorry? Only 4,000. Okay, well, even with 4,000 people, we have an enormous amount of street folks out there. And there's all kinds of issues, same as over here. People are dying, and like in Grand Forks this year so far, we've had 8 deaths. Now that doesn't sound like an awful lot, but in a community of 4,000 people, that's incredible. They've been, there was a huge, they were flooded and displaced, and Grand Forks itself is cut right down the middle. There's so much hate towards street people, and then there's people that kind of get it, right? So there's all kinds of stuff going on in Grand Forks. Nelson, we're a little bit ahead of the game. Anchors has been trying to make changes there for like since 1998. And then Dean came down and started this group, and we're kind of moving forward slowly. We have no funding. We meet once a month, and we talk about the issues and try to get to the tables and kind of make changes. There's this group that started, and I did not name it this. It's called the Nelson Task Force, Fentanyl Task Force. And so we based it on the 4 pillars. And so we have treatment, continuity of care, first responders, because it's not just the bulls, it's also ambulance and firemen and yeah, first responders. And then there's prevention, education, and harm reduction. So we have peers sitting on each of those committees, and we also just got a tiny bit of funding to hire a peer health navigator who is now connecting up with the various resources in the community and getting to know the, she's going up to emergency and talking to the emergency docs. She's also on these committees. And so we got an in, and we're building our respect within the communities, and they listen to us, of course, to a certain degree, right? I'm not sure what else to say other than we're moving forward slowly. Grand Forks has been hit big time with all kinds of stuff. The community is completely fragmented. We've got people that live 10 kilometers up some isolated road that you can't get a 4-wheel, you have to have a 4-wheel drive to drive in there. And if there's one person already died, sadly, there, and if there's ever a problem, it's a huge problem. Like over here, I bet you an ambulance would be here in 3 minutes. You're looking like an hour or 3/4 of an hour, half an hour for an ambulance to get there. So it's the same shit but different pile. And
okay. Is there anyone here from Wars who can give us a Wars report?
Last comment was a perfect segue. We see quite often, you know, the mansplaining and what goes on in the downtown east side, and so much in the lower mainland, and we got fucking shit in the north. We are so fucking left out of this stuff. So I've got 3 other representatives with me here from the north today. And we're just gonna deal with all the bureaucracy and bullshit.
What towns?
So we've got representatives from Prince George here today and Quesnel, and then we hope to create chapters throughout all of the north and become united. And this is the work that needs to be done. Unfortunately, we fight with bureaucratic heads from Health Authority and our own lovely fucking mayor, who I would like to take out at the knees and probably eventually will. Oh, and of course, we've got a lot of, there's a lot of shit going on within our community where police are actually targeting people who are carrying naloxone and searching them and searching their Narcan kits. The people who don't use substances that are carrying them are now turning their kits back in. People, we've seen the numbers in naloxone distribution drop dramatically due to this. We addressed RCMP. The RCMP staff sergeant actually said he will not ask his members to cease and desist this behavior, that he actually thought it was perfectly okay. So we've got so much shit going on in the north that is fucking sickening, but we started this new drug user organization to try to alleviate some of that stuff. So we appreciate the networking and everybody that's here and that all that we learn in the communities and people that we engage with. So once again,
Thank you.
thanks.
The organization within itself. We are the only Indigenous group, I think, in Canada and anywhere else at all with illicit drugs and or alcohol. And we're just here just to gain a lot more knowledge because I have other members that are here, 4 others, and we are all brand new members to Wars and to Vandu, and for myself, very new to BC and Yukon, or BC, and it's just a great honor for us to be here and representing our organization. Thank you.
Newly fit in Nanaimo. We started up about 3 weeks ago, maybe. So we're
Closer to that mic, please.
super new. Take that one. No, that's okay. That's okay.
Just lean on it.
Okay. So we started off as the Solid Outreach Project in Nanaimo, and then in September, towards the end of September, we branched out on our own and started our own outreach drug user group organization in Nanaimo. That was kind of the plan all along. I think really was to get like a running start with Solid, and they gave us that opportunity, and we're really grateful for it. So we're in the process of getting some funding, which is great. We've been running an unsanctioned pop-up tent in Nanaimo every Wednesday. Prior to probably about a month and a half ago, we were just doing it on a monthly basis on check days because we were seeing a spike in overdoses. And for the last 6 weeks, as we've been trying to kind of figure out funding, we were just doing this on a volunteer basis, right? But I mean, that's hugely problematic because of the issues around the exploitation of peer workers, right? So we were really aware of that. So that's why the capacity that we were working at over the last 6 weeks had dropped drastically. But we're back, and I think we're kind of stronger than we ever were before. We've kind of identified a core group of people. We're really excited to be here, and you'll hopefully be hearing more about us in the near future.
What we've been doing is going around doing lobster training, the soup kitchen days and stuff like that, do cleanups around town. We're trying to get a grant for a 24-hour drop-in center, so we're really working for that. We've been asking the city to do a lot of work. There's a lot of empty spaces in the city that could be put for drop-in. We're just really trying to get started up here, trying to get some grants and some funds and stuff like that. And coming to these conferences is great because we learn a lot, and we can take what I learned back to my community and hopefully get some ideas and move the ball along. So it's going to be a long uphill battle for us because there's only, as you know, with being an addict, there's a lot of people that aren't very reliable. So our community of steering committee is getting smaller and smaller every time. So
And they might be dying too.
yeah, so while they move away and go to court and stuff like that, like we all have these. Once we get into the system, they want to keep us in the system, either probation or jail time or whatever not. So there's a lot of things that need to change for drug users for sure. And I'm just glad that Ann and Chris and everyone else is here to listen and learn.
We had a class action a long time ago where we won the right to sleep in the park with under the constitutional grounds. Since then, we've had some problems and issues that are arising because of that, because in Abbotsford, we have a mayor as well who thinks we all should be disappeared. And our issue now is that it's illegal to even be in the park in the daytime with your stuff. Even if it's packed up and not, you know, it means we have a real good fight. Just like before, only this time it's a daytime. Before we weren't allowed to sleep there. Now we're not allowed to be there. Your stuff is illegal. But they provided no storage, no nothing for it, nothing. So we got a hell of a fight, and we're going to start sticking it out. And you know, like I said, we formed smaller committees. We got the ambassador program that's happening in the city. We are working with the city a bit on that, which is doing some pretty good things. We got a lot of backers that are starting to back us now, but the fight is still there. And you know, I just hope the best for the rest of you, because man, this government, we sit here. Until it happens to them, but one of their own, the fight is going to be harder and it's going to get tougher. You know, I don't know what else to say. You know, because I've lost 10 friends in the past year.
Michelle, DC, and I guess I'm here for PWUD. Yes, and Seashell and my own community needs. I'm an executive board member for the Canadian Association of People Who Use Drugs. We have a few other board members here now. Dean's a board member and Simona's a board member. Maybe other people. We got a huge ass board now.
Patrick, yeah.
Patrick, yes, yeah, lots of awesome people. I'm not sure exactly what to update. We always kind of have our hands in a lot of pies right now. We're kind of taking on a human rights violation that happened to us We had a lawyer that actually came to us that wanted to represent our needs. It opens a lot of doors, I think, because there's human rights violations against drug users every day. Ours was that we were denied rental space from Aquilini Group. They own the Canucks. And at the same time that they were denying us space, they were putting out their anti-stigma campaign, which KWUD actually consulted on, so it was it's hilarious if it could be hilarious. That's how fucking stupid it is. But we actually had some lawyers that are interested in human rights that recognized the need to have some legal responses to the overdose crisis, and that's kind of where we're hoping to head. So that's something that we're working on. Jordan's done a ton of work on that. It's amazing. Personally, I think something we need to be doing is engaging our members more. That's something we're hoping to be doing. We're hoping to have more insight from members that they can engage us better to know what we need to be doing. We have some awesome resources. We have funding federally now, so yeah, we have some opportunities. We have a voice. We have a voice at the table with the federal government. We have voices at tables with a lot of provincial governments. So we need to know from our members and from all of you how we can best represent. So we're trying to open those doors. It hasn't always been our strong suit. So we're trying to shift that. So yeah, and I live on the Sunshine Coast. I'm in the process of trying to start a user group there. We have some peer groups that are kind of starting, but they're all run by the health authority. A lot of our drug users won't access services that come from the health authority. They've had too many bad experiences. So that's my own thing, what I'm trying to do there, but it's super preliminary. I don't even have a name or anything. Just a bunch of drug users that really need support. So,
Thank you.
I'm the one talker, so that's why I said that. No, my name is Greg Perez. I'm the liaison for SNAP, which is Salome and Naomi patients that went through blind tests. We went through, I tried to get in the Naomi one, but because I had outstanding charges, they wouldn't let me go in. And at that time, that was one of the criteria. You couldn't get in into the Naomi if you had an outstanding warrant or an outstanding charge. Even if you were going to court, they wouldn't let you in. So I got it all cleared up. I did a deuce less, and I went to the Salome, and it was saved my life. I would be dead right now if it wasn't for the clinic that I'm going to right now. I'm going to the Crosstown Clinic, and I'm getting heroin-assisted therapy. Yes. I'm your typical junkie. I'm on the max, so a gram of pure heroin a day. You know, I hardly feel it, but I've never been this pain-free in my life either. So it's saved my life. I'll be quite honest. It's just nothing like it. Yes.
Hey, I'm on the hydromorphone, the other stuff, the other injectable. Is it different from when you switch from the hydromorphone to the diacetylmorphine?
Oh, 100%.
The hydromorphone is painful almost. It burns and it itches.
So does the heroin.
Really?
So does the heroin.
Really? But
Yeah.
it's not that much different?
No, it's a completely different drug, but you know, like heroin is for people that are heroin addicts. You know the difference between a dilaudid and a black heroin. You know. Anyways, I just thought I'd mention that this is our 8th year, I think, isn't it? Yes. So, 8th year. And there's so many people out there. I live in downtown Eastside Vancouver, and I've been there for since '79, and I've seen everything down there. In fact, I've been involved in everything down there. Like I was one of the guys laying on the street, sicker than a dog. Couldn't get money for a fix, so I'd slide into North Van or West Van or somewhere and try to boost something or, you know, do anything. Nothing that you're proud of, but, you know, just trying to survive and, you know, getting caught by the police and going to jail. And the whole circle of it is just so demeaning and so, you know, life-threatening. And I see the kids nowadays that are down there and they're going through the same thing. So I just hope that people like myself, and I'm trying to do it, can reach out to these kids and reach out to the people that need help and help them, because they're not going to get it unless we reach out. Most addicts won't ask for help. You know, they're ashamed of what they are. You know, because we get told from we're that high, you know, you're just a piece of shit junkie. You know what I mean? Like we don't want you in our building. We don't want you in our. You know, there's a lot of buildings now in Vancouver you can't get in if they know you're a user. They won't. I know I hear people here say they're from Rain City and what's that other one? I hate them. I'm in one of the, Atira. I'm in the Atira building. They're the worst. You know, like they got so many blocks to get you in. I was lucky I got in there. If it hadn't been for my doctor helped me, I would never got in it because of Atira. Anyway, so much for the boring
So
stuff.
much to do. So many people to sue.
That's right. Isn't the end goal? That's all I got to say, really. I just hope we can all help each other, and it's great to be here. I spoke at Edmonton too, and Edmonton was quite the trip, and I hope I can go to the next one. Thank you.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about the situation in Surrey.
Yeah. Go to Surrey.
Oh shit.
Tell us about Dover.
Dopers is it's like a group of drug users, and we help each other out with whatever we can. Yeah.
What's the whole situation like out there?
Currently, I'm involved with the Anita Place encampment. They've made me manager for some weird reason. But we got a couple things that we've been doing. We've got the harm reduction group has been going really, really strong out there. We're getting a bit of a voice in the local government, which is nice. Had a bit of a rough election last though. We didn't. Most of the people that supported us got voted out. But we're still trying. We're still open. The camp is still open, which is a big thing. We were the longest running camp in existence, and we've kept it strong. We protected a lot of lives. Coming on 19 months now, almost 19 months, and we're still strong. There's no immediate plans to get rid of us.
Same location for 19 months.
Same location, yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, we negotiated a shower, the showers to come in last about a year ago, last January. We negotiated the showers to come in. That was a huge win. Hygiene, can you imagine? Actually being treated like a human being. It was amazing. We got a bit of a food program going. It's not enough, obviously, but we're doing our best. Weekly fire safety walks, which are great. They come through and they tell us what to throw away, which is always nice. But we negotiated the fact that we have the ability to say yes or no. This is a big thing, right? This is what I guess this is all about, getting a choice, right? And this is what we've been able to kind of get out of the local government and the provincial government, which is good. What else? What? Oh, the modular structure. Oh, the modular structures. Yeah, actually, that was a huge one. They came in every single week and they were complaining about our little houses and stuff that we're building. Right, shocks. Can you imagine that, eh? They were just building somewhere to keep a little bit better out of the weather, right? But they're threatening to shut us down and to tear it down. Well, we just recently got the provincial fire inspector has stamped approval on it. We're allowed to have structures down there now. So we can actually keep out of the rain. Thank you. Just want to say thank you to all the support that we've gotten from across the province.
They don't have to be on wheels?
No.
Okay.
Nope, we don't have to get rid of them at 7 o'clock in the morning.
About how many of them do you have? Like how many?
About approximately 120 people right now.
Right on.
Yeah, and it's been steady about 100 for the last several months now, but it fluctuates obviously, right? The modular housing, we had about 10 people go up to the modular houses, so that decreased our numbers a little bit. But modular housing was kind of, it's a nice idea if they built enough of them, right? Like they put in 50 units, 7 people from the camp went up there. Out of 127 people got housed. A little bit tough to swallow, right? But I believe if they could put more modular housing, I think it's a nice idea, don't get me wrong, but it's way too limited, way too limited. So I think that the camp, in my view, is going to be around for a long time. I believe that it is a necessary waypoint from getting evicted to getting help, right? You come down to the camp, you talk to one of us, one of the leadership down there, and we'll help you. We'll find you a spot, we'll get you a tent, we'll get you whatever you need, right? You got your harm reduction, you got whatever you need down there. And we're going to save, we have saved lives, we have saved people from freezing cold and the whole bit, right? So I know that our climate's not the most drastic compared to some of these people from up north, but it's still damn cold, right? And every night it's the same thing, fighting to find heat, right? So that's the big problem we got right now is that they don't want us to allow us to have any kind of propane heat, and we can't have power, so no electric heat. Okay, I don't know what else to do, right? They believe that a sleeping bag is enough. No, it's not enough.
So what are you guys
Not allowed to
doing?
have a fire. Yeah, not allowed to have a fire, not allowed to have any
So
form
what are
of
you guys
heat.
doing?
We're propane heat. There's no way they're gonna tell us that we can't live, right? And that's exactly what it came down to. I had the same argument with the fire department every single week, right? And unfortunately, it's my job to go talking to them, right? I don't know why, but this is the way it is.
We do. We do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Everyone's welfare check to give to private methadone clinics. And some people were getting up to 10% of what they had left over for food and stuff, taken off their checks. So the group went to court, representing all 17,000 people at the time that were on methadone in BC, and said to the government, this is against our human rights. You can't take welfare money and give it to a private for-profit methadone clinics. And the government said, okay, we're sorry, and they got together about $7 million, and it's being returned now to people. So if you're seeing checks coming, that's from our fight, and that shows what organized drug dealers can do. The other big fight we've been involved in is since 2014, everybody who's on methadone got switched to methadose. And for almost everybody I know, you end up being sick after about 16 hours. Doesn't last, right? So it's very shitty. We've been fighting to get the old methadone back, the stuff that works better. And we haven't won yet, but we've got an interim victory. So if you're on methadose right now and you feel sick and it's not working out for you, you can ask your doctor or whoever prescribes it to you to get something called Metadol D, liquid Metadol D.
And I've slept for the first time all night in 3 years.
So liquid Metadol D, METADOL -D. This is really, I can't tell it apart from the old methadone. It is fucking great. So tell your doctor, get them on it. It requires a bit of paperwork from the government. We're trying to clear that out of the way too. So METADOL-D. And so this has been a process we've been meeting with. I mean, I must have a list of 100 different various kind of government bureaucrats we've been meeting with. But we're not only trying to get the old methadone sorted out for BC, but for all of Canada. We're trying to get this Metadol D for all of Canada. But our group also represents people on Suboxone, on Cadian, on injectables, and we're trying to make that stuff easier too. And one thing the group did determine recently is because Suboxone is turning into a very common treatment, we're kind of cautioning people to find a way, if you got to get on Suboxone, to do microdosing or something, because how it is right now, to start, it requires being dope sick. And our organization says no treatment that requires dope sickness as a prerequisite is in any way decent for us. Because we've all done the most risky, the most stupid I know I have things in my life to avoid or to try and dig my way out of dope sickness. So we're saying to all the doctors and stuff, and empowering all of ourselves if we're going to be on Suboxone. If you're already dope sick and someone's got it for you, great, that's a good start. But if someone says, okay, you've got to intentionally make yourself dope sick to get on this treatment, ask for alternatives, seek another way around. Because we've all put our heads together, even the last week, had experiences, even people in our group, they got just so phenomenally sick involved in this that we want to be sounding a note of caution. So we're going to keep going. We're working on funding, and we're working on building a broader outreach so that we can be more present to methadone, Suboxone, Cadian, whatever your opiate substitution treatment of choice is. So we can be more present to you across BC, and we're going to keep working on that. Thanks.